Oh boy. Oh boy. Goddamn rain, brother. Goddamn rain. Yo, yo. Good morning. Good afternoon. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorilla back up in this thing. And Snapzilla Gorilla up in this thing. We gonna talk about this shit. We gonna talk about it. Yes, sir. Let's sift through the bullshit, shall we? Now, I'm sure many of us are aware of the whole debacle between Terrance Bud Crawford and the WBC. Orange Lily for you. Thank you for coming back. Salute to you, Queen. Salute to the Orange Lily for you. Sure we're aware of it. And talking about in the world of boxing, Terrance Bud Crawford is the pound for pound king right now. He is the number one on the pound for pound list on many people's lists, including myself. Even though I don't have an official list yet, but he's the number one king, right? And in his last bout against Canelo Alvarez, he beat Canelo Alvarez and became undisputed at 168 pounds, right? He went up to 168, fought the number one guy up there, the undisputed champion Canelo Alvarez, and beat him. Salute to Floval Skincare. Salute to you. He went up there and handedly defeated Canelo Alvarez and became the undisputed champion. And recently, in the last couple days, he was stripped of his WBC belt, and he is no longer undisputed. And the reason he was stripped is because, according to the WBC, he would not pay the sanctioning fees. Now, Terrance Bud Crawford made it clear that they wanted extra money, right? So you got 4 belts that charge sanctioning fees to fighters in their respective divisions. So if you can imagine, if you're the undisputed champion, you're going to be hit up by 4 different sanctioning bodies to pay sanctioning fees every time you fight. And they all take the same 3%. But for some reason, the WBC, the head of the WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, felt like they deserved more money than the other sanctioning bodies. So Terrance Crawford said, fuck that and fuck you. Take the belt, right? And so that's what happened. You know, Mauricio Suleiman went on this rant about Terrance Crawford being ungrateful. He should be saying thank you and I'm sorry and blah, 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 right? And Terrance Bud Crawford said, fuck your sorry. Fuck your goddamn apology. Fuck your thank you. I ain't with that shit. Take that fucking belt and shove it up your ass. That's basically what he said. It's a trophy. That's what he said, right? Now, Terrance Bud Crawford, it's like I told you guys yesterday. The idea behind the belt for those sanctioning bodies, the idea behind being a belt holder in your respective division is to symbolize that you are the top fighter of that division, right? It's not really the belt itself that you are fighting for. You're fighting to be the top guy. And Terrance Crawford, he beat the top guy at 168. So, I mean, that is what it is. So we have an understanding, right? We have an understanding as to why Terrance Bud Crawford decided to say fuck that belt and take the belt, right? It's really the principle behind the fact that the WBC was more, right? They wanted the $300,000, or I don't know what the number is. Some people say 300, some people say 150, or I don't know. I don't know exactly. But they also wanted another $100,000 on top of that. So we have to understand the full context, right, behind this whole situation. And people are applauding Terrance Crawford for taking a stand, right? Taking a stand against the WBC for full shenanigans. And, you know, we can all acknowledge that these sanctioning bodies be doing some wild shit, right? Now, your boy, Knockoff the Tighmaster, he had a problem with this. And he got so upset that he decided, of course, to try to draw parallels between Terrance Bud Crawford and Tonka Twuck Davis, right? Because, you know, Tonka Twuck Davis is not supposed to care about the belts. He's not supposed to care about that. He told Cambosis, fuck them belts, I'll fight you for free, or I'll fight you not for the belt, right? In his mind, we should be looking at him as this, looking at the situation as the same thing, right? Because Lamont Roach got stripped. Lamont Roach got stripped, right? And this is where I get confused, because Lamont Roach gets stripped because he's fighting at 140, and he won't. As soon as that bell rings between him and Pitbull, he is going to be stripped, right? Which is a good thing. That should happen, right? You are clearly no longer campaigning at 130, so why do you have the belt? Yeah, so when you start the fight, when you go ahead and you go into the ring at 140, yeah, so we're going to take your belt. That makes sense to me, right? But then he defends Tonka Twuck Davis not being stripped. He defends that, which is confusing because he's not supposed to give a fuck about a belt. But nonetheless, the idea is that Terrance Crawford should not be looked upon with any sort of like credibility or any sort of credit. We shouldn't give Terrance Crawford any credit because Tonka Twuck Davis said fuck the belts too, basically, right? And we're supposed to look at those two situations as the same situation, and basically we're supposed to look at Tonka Twuck as the same type of guy when those two things are not the same, right? Because the circumstances behind Terrance Crawford saying fuck that belt is completely different than Tonka Twuck saying he don't care about belts, saying you can't feed your family with belts, saying you can't feed your family with legacy, right? Because people tend to tie legacy to belt obtaining, right? That's basically what, when you think of legacy in the sport of boxing, you think, okay, you're going, the ultimate goal is to become a champion, right? The ultimate goal is to become the undisputed champion at your weight class. That's really the ultimate goal. Otherwise, why are you fighting in professional boxing? In professional boxing, this is just how it works. throughout Tonka, he was handed belts. It was made easy for him to obtain belts. Things were shifted around so that he could get a super belt, so he can get a WBA super belt. The whole while he's saying, oh, I don't care about belts. And then 1 minute he says he don't care about belts or anything like that. But then he tells Champ Side he wants undisputed at 135. Right? Tonka Twuck, what real reason did he, what real reason does he have to say fuck the belts? It's not the same as Terrance Crawford's reasons. It's not the same at all. Because Terrance Crawford was a belt holder. He was undisputed in 2 other weight classes. He was undisputed at 140. And he was undisputed at 147. Right? He never said fuck the belts back then. Right? He was paying the sanctioning fees like every other champion has. He didn't defend undisputed, right? He dropped the belts and moved to another weight class. But nonetheless, it is what it is, right? No. Tonka Twuck does not say fuck the belts for the same reason as Terrance, but Crawford is not the same at all. See, Tonka Twuck Davis says fuck the belts so that he could duck. Yeah, so he can duck the fighters that he would have to fight to get belts or to unify. If maneuvering can't be made, if they're unable to maneuver around to allow him to get a belt as easy as possible, then that's when he says fuck the belts. But when belts are conveniently handed to him, he has no problem accepting those belts. Right? Just like when Devin Haney left 135, dropped all his belts after becoming undisputed and defending undisputed twice. You know, Tonka Twuck was offered, to be elevated. They offered to elevate him as a WBA super. And even though he acted, at first he said no, he rejected it, but then at some point, he accepted it. He became an email champion. The guy that says fuck the belts. Well, if you truly believe that, if you truly mean that, then why did you accept the email belt? Why did you become email champion? Or email title holder? Right? But this is people's like, the baby munchers of Tonka Twuck Davis. The people that will get pissed on and open their mouths and gratefully drink and swallow. Those are the people that will tell you, well, if you applaud Terrance Crawford for saying fuck that belt, then you shouldn't have a problem with Tonka Twuck doing the same thing, when it's not the same situation, it's not the same scenario at all. It's not the same, not even remotely the same. This is why boxing is in shambles, you guys. Yep. I see people are getting annihilated in the chat. They must be on some bullshit. It's not the same at all. You see, Tonka Twuck don't like belts when it's convenient for him to not like belts. But he'll gladly accept a participation trophy, right? Again, it's not about the belt itself. When you go and you try to collect belts, it's not just so that you can have the belts hanging on your wall, right? It's what getting those belts symbolize. I had to fight this guy, that guy, and this guy. I became undisputed because I fought the very best at the division. That's what that's about. Now, because Tonka Twuck Davis complained about sanctioning fees before, which I have no problem with. If you're complaining about sanctioning fees and you're like, why the fuck am I paying this? What the fuck is this about? I have no problem with that. Hey, more power to you. But why then are you a belt holder? If you're going to complain about the sanctioning fees, why would you take the belt? When you know that the WBA, they gave that belt to Tonka Twuck Davis because they wanted to make some money off of him when he fought. If the belt sits vacant, and two fighters fight for that vacant belt, and those two fighters have not proven to be draws, or they don't have any pay-per-view revenue or behind them or anything like that, you think they'd rather have the two lesser-known fighters who've never fought on pay-per-view get that belt, or do you think they'd rather have someone like Tonka Twuck Davis, who has fought on pay-per-view, have the belt? Okay, so with that knowledge, and you not appreciating that, and you think that the WBA is using you, why would you take the belt? And as a supporter of Tonka Twuck Davis, why would you support that? Why would you not call that out? Why would you try to use Tonka Twuck on occasion saying that he don't care about belts? Why would you use that to minimize the importance of what Terrance Bud Crawford did? Because there is a level of importance behind what Terrance Bud Crawford did. Right? There is a level of importance behind that. He sent the message because he took that belt. And that's the only belt where he didn't pay the extra sanctioning fees. So that also tells you what? That he doesn't have a problem with the sanctioning fees per se. And if he does have a problem with it, he doesn't have enough of a problem to really say, fuck those belts. No, but what he had a problem with is paying the extra 0.8% or whatever the fuck they wanted. That was his problem. So then he said, fuck your belt. They took the belt, and he said, okay, take your fucking belt. So that's another difference. You see, Tonka Twuck Davis didn't say, fuck that belt. He didn't say, I don't care about belts, and then relinquish the belt. No. Every opportunity he had to get a belt, aside from fighting somebody for it, aside from fighting an actual champion to obtain the belt, he kept the belt. Yeah. He has a belt right now. He has a WBA super belt at 135. He hasn't fought a mandatory since 2022. Every time he gets in the ring, he has to pay sanctioning fees. Yet he's telling people, oh, fuck them belts. Them belts ain't important. You can't feed family with belts. They taking my money. Okay, well, drop the fucking belt then. You want us to respect Tonka Twuck the way we respect Terrance Bud Crawford? Well, you have to put some action behind your words, homie. Don't just say you don't care about the belt or fuck the belt. Drop the fucking belt. Yeah. That would get a modicum of respect from me. But if you're just saying, oh, if you're bitching and moaning about the belt, then you have you have the wherewithal and the capability of relinquishing the belt, then why aren't you doing it? Why would we even try to equate Tonka Twuck and Terrance Bud Crawford in their situations when they're not the same at all? Salute to Intelligent Savage in the building. Salute to you, bro. Thank you for coming through. WS40 Vernon. Devin Haney is a Pitbull Cruz. Wow. No, I don't want to see that. For what? I look like Marcus Patrick. Who's that? The sanctioning fees are percentages of purses. The fighter's purse pays their judges and refs. I understand what it's for. But why do we need that to come out of the purse? Think about it. Someone says get a job. It's always about getting a job, right? It's always about getting a job. Get a job, bum. Why not? Do you have a job? Because you're writing in my chat. Anyway, if you see, this is what knockoff Luther King or knockoff Pity Pat or knockoff the Tighmaster, this is the narrative he's pushing. That what Terrance Bud Crawford did is the same as what Tonka Twuck Davis is doing in regards to the belt situation, when it's not the same at all. But you got people out there that'll believe that. And, you know, this is why boxing is in shambles, right? We tend to underestimate how much power people like knockoff Pity Pat has in a given, you know, in a given space, whether it be a boxing space or a political space, right? I like to equate knockoff Pity Pat to Tim Pool in the realm of politics, because Tim Pool is a political commentator. To me, they're the same, right? Now, Tim Pool has millions of subscribers, right? And, you know, knockoff, he's not there yet. But he has the potential to get there, right? Think about, what's his face? The Buckeye fool with the taco hat. Showbiz the man-child. Showbiz the man-child, some of the wildest, ridiculous takes in the realm of boxing. Just the wildest and most ridiculous. Look at what he was pushing when Ryan Garcia popped dirty for performance-enhancing drugs against Devin Haney. Am I back? Let me know if y'all can hear me. The lunatic libertarian says IBO has a world title, only important from time to time. Yeah, the IBO, they're trying to get into the position. Look like I eat chitlins? No, I don't eat chitlins, but okay. Garcia took a body shot and was done. He did. Now, think about it. And then I'm going to get off of here. During the Ryan Garcia PED fiasco, Showbiz the man-child, who already had a couple hundred thousand subscribers at the point, was running around defending Ryan Garcia. He was pushing conspiracy theories about Vada, Victor Conte, Snack, Devin Haney. He was lying to people about Ryan Garcia being cleared. You like my lies, Orange Lily, for you? Salute to you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. But I want to 7-8 Sports. I didn't know he was going. 7-8 Sports TV is going live, and I like to catch his content. I want to catch his content. So y'all should, if y'all don't know 7-8, y'all should go over here and check him out. 7-8 Sports TV. Devin got his ass whooped by a drug cheat. The guy who has say no to drugs is telling us how Devin got his ass whooped by a drug cheat. The irony is beautiful. Now, Showbiz the man-child was pushing this narrative. Lying, being manipulative, bullshit and mental gymnastics. And guess what happened? Did he get called out? Absolutely. There were a number of people called him out, including myself. And there were a number of creators that were pushing this narrative that Ryan Garcia, the drug cheating didn't matter, all the supplements, all this bullshit. No, supplements should not, I don't think supplements. How you gonna call yourself a libertarian and you talking about supplements should be banned? No. Performance enhancing drugs should be banned. Not creatine or, or anything like that. Creatine, vitamin C, vitamin A, there are certain things that should not be banned. The problem is, this guy, Showbiz the man-child, pushed this narrative. What happened not too long after that? He got this lucrative contract with DAZN. Now he is a DAZN content creator for DAZN. And he's probably making millions and millions of dollars. A guy that pushed lies, bullshit, and false narratives and told people that performance enhancing drugs aren't a big deal. And that Ryan Garcia was cleared. Just lying. This is what gets elevated, right? And this is why I do what I do when I do what I do it. And I don't just do this in the realm of boxing. I do this in politics. I do this in social commentary, right? I do like the Officer Tatum. Yeah, because they get promoted and elevated pushing lies. They get promoted and elevated pushing propaganda and pushing status bullshit. God bless America. Why not? Being a libertarian has nothing to do with drugs, with drug cheats. Well, if you say ban supplements, that's not drug cheating. I don't know what you're saying. You said supplements should be banned. Supplements, there's nothing wrong with supplements. The supplements are simply that, supplement. They supplement, right, what you may be missing in your diet. Now, what performance enhancing drugs do is give you extra physiological advantages. That's different. It's no longer a supplement if it gives you extra physiological advantages, right? If it boosts your performance beyond what you would be able to obtain naturally, right? So, like SARMs, steroids, those aren't supplements, right? Those things, right, they augment or enhance or they push you beyond. It's supra-physiological, right? Supra-physiological. If it push you beyond your beyond what you're able to achieve, your genetic limit, right? Your natural genetic limit. Whereas supplements can help you achieve your genetic limits. It'll help you reach the limits of your natural genetic limits. Whereas steroids and performance enhancers, well, they push you beyond that, right? That's the difference. Anyway, someone says, new F guy says, as a libertarian, I don't even think PEDs should be banned. If someone understands the risk they take. Well, here's the difference. New F guy. The difference is if an organization, if a sports organization, right, if they come up with a set of rules that if you want to participate and compete within their organization, you have to follow said rules, then you are voluntarily participating, right? You are participating in that organization. Therefore, you have to go by their rules and regulations. But it's voluntary. You don't have to do it. You said if you don't like the rules, if you don't like the banned substances, you simply just don't participate, right? You know, you can start your own league. Start your own league where you can have those things. And then the people that are willing to participate, they go in knowing, okay, that person, my opponent, can possibly be on steroids because it's not banned. That's a different thing, right? Now, in regards to government rule, right? We don't have a choice, right? They force you into it. You have no option. There is no opt-out, right? That's the difference, right? That's where libertarianism really comes in. Removing government control, shrinking government to allow people to live as freely as possible so that you do have a choice to voluntarily participate in a system or an organization that has their own set culture and rules and regulations, right? So if you're a professional boxer and these organizations, they come up with a set of rules and ban substances, well, if you don't like it, just don't do it. Whomever it applies to, who I'm calling, oh, you ain't talking about me. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. The bottom line is Tonka Twuck's position on the belts, right, is not the same as Terrance Crawford's position on one belt, the sanctioning body that provides that belt's trying to extort him. There's a complete difference, right? So there is a distinction there, even though somebody like Knockoff Luther King, Knockoff Pity Pat, Knockoff the Tighmaster will try to convince you that you shouldn't have a problem with Tonka Twuck position on belts because you don't have a problem with Terrance Crawford's. It's utterly ridiculous. Usyk dropped the belt for fees. Yeah, I mean that's his choice. Now, when Tonka Twuck does the same thing for the same reason, then we can have a conversation. But as long as Tonka Twuck Davis is holding that belt and Knockoff and people like him continue to argue and protect Tonka Twuck, he will forever look like a goddamn fool. It is what it is. They already the best in the division being yeah. I mean, at this point, it's a symbol, right? That's what the belts are. It symbolizes what you did to achieve that belt. It's not having the belt itself. It has to do with what you did to achieve and grab that belt and take that belt. You took the belt. It's not that you have the belt. It's you took the belt. Salute to Anatolia. I'm good. How are you? That's really what it's about. And right now, Knockoff Pity Pat and his minions are on a campaign to convince you that Devin Haney trying to become undisputed at 147 makes him look, like he's trying to get an easy lick. And then there is another narrative that I'll probably be addressing at some point where he's saying that Bill, Bill Haney went on Ariel Hawani on he did an interview with him, and he asked him about Ryan Garcia, and Bill Haney kind of dismissed it like, Ryan Garcia doesn't have a belt right now, so So Knockoff calls that a duck, right? And he says, oh, Bill Haney making his supporters and fans look bad. He is trying so desperately to make us look bad. And I'm talking about Devin Haney supporters. Because Tonka Twuck makes them look bad every chance he gets. So he has to find a way, by hook or by crook, to try to convince. Now he's saying that Bill Haney is shitting on his own fans, shitting on Devin's fans. No. I understand why Bill said he's not worried about Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia ain't got nothing. Ryan Garcia got washed in his last fight. Devin Haney and Bill doesn't really look at that as a challenge right now. Why would we fight Ryan Garcia right now? We want him. They don't want to wash a Ryan Garcia that already got washed by Rolly Romero. And guess what? Initially, they said they would still rematch him when Rolly beat him. And Ryan Garcia ducked, talking about his head broke. But that's what, Knockoff Pity Pat left that out. Knockoff Pity Pat left that out. Ryan Garcia ducked and said his hand was broke. Okay? And when he tried to fight Ryan Garcia before Rolly, he ducked. Yeah. What's his name? Ducked for him. Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya ducked that fight. Yeah. And so Devin said, okay, well, the idea was Devin will fight Jose Ramirez. Queen Mother Jaquila's in the building. Salute to you. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Intelligent Savage says, absolute facts. Tank keeps dude looking crazy out here. Yeah. So he wants us to look crazy. And it ain't going to work. Not as long as I'm breathing. Anyway. Beautiful Queen Mother Shaquila's in here. Anyway, so Oscar De La Hoya ducked that fight. Okay, so when, Devin was supposed to fight Jose Ramirez, Ryan Garcia was supposed to fight Rolly Romero. They were supposed to both supposed to beat their opponents and then come together for a rematch. Well, Ryan Garcia lost and fucked that up. And Devin was still trying to fight him. Like, oh, we'll still fight him. We'll still rematch him. Then Ryan Garcia said his hand got broke. So, anyway, I'll touch on that. I'll actually do that at the house where I have an opportunity to show you the fool-ass shit coming out of this dude's mouth. Yeah, this is from the homegirl, Queen's Throne. She had a channel. She has a channel on YouTube, and she has some merchandise. So, I supported my sister by going ahead and copping one of her hoodies. Very comfortable. I've had this thing for years. I want to say I had it for like 4 or 5 years. I had this thing. Tank beat Romero. Yes, he knocked him out. Sure, it's Diddy's merch. Why not? Y'all looking at you sensitive. I'd have 80,000 block motherfuckers in my block list. Good thing I'm not sensitive. Anyway, that's all I got for now. But, yeah, it's not the same. Terrance Bud Crawford and Tonka Twuck Davis, they're not the same at all. Yeah, Tonka Twuck Davis beat Rolly. And he beat Ryan Garcia. Orange Lily for you says, do you use House of Porter Latin. I don't know what that is. No, I use this stuff called well, thank you, Orange Lily, for you. I appreciate you. I use it's called Respected Roots. I use Respected Roots product, black-owned business. So you guys look that up. If you guys want your beard to look on point, check out Respected Roots. They have a what they call a co-wash, and they have a like a conditioner, right? A beard, like a beard butter, and then they have an oil. Yeah, really good product. And on top of that, to give it more, I put mango butter in there too. I put raw mango butter. I put that on. That's what I put on last. Raw mango butter. Salute to you. Yeah, I use Respected Roots, and then I use the Respected Roots product, and then the last thing I do is I put on some raw mango butter. Your beard don't grow? Yeah, I don't know. Thank you, Orange Lily, for you. I appreciate you. I wish I could tell you there's a miracle, some miracle ointment or some miracle butter or miracle oil you can put on that'll help your hair grow. But I know there are things that you can do to, stimulate growth, right? Through your diet, through what you put on. But it's not guaranteed, right? Some people just don't have the genetics to grow full beards. Intelligence Habit says, but he never signed to fight Devin Haney, but was willing to fight. Yeah. Willing to fight 220-pound Jake Paul. Yeah, he's full of shit. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for hitting that like button. And thank you. Somebody dropped a gift on your boy. Shaquila Fields, thank you for the hot cocoa. I really appreciate you. So anyway, y'all stay up. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. And if you guys aren't familiar with 7-8 Sports TV, y'all go check him out. He's live right now. I'm going to go check him out, see what he talking about. Much love, like, share, subscribe. And let's keep marching forward toward freedom and truth.